going on, guys? Today I'm going to do a quick review of the PetSafe Pawz Away Pet Barrier. In this review, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this device, including one thing that I think that you should know before buying it. So guys, this pet barrier is super simple in the way that it works, right? So basically, you put this collar on whatever animal, pet, dog, whatever it may be, and then you put this device where you don't want them to be. Now, we got it because my mom had an issue with her dogs getting into the garbage, and we have an issue, or had an issue rather, with our dog getting into the garbage. We actually don't have that issue anymore. So I'll explain kind of how this works real quick so you can understand. Did not take long for our dog. Basically corrected the behavior in about a week or so.
So first, let's start with this, right? This is the base of it that you basically will put into an area. And what it does is it covers a radius that will stop the dog or cat from going for a specific area, right? So we put this by the garbage, right? And right now you can see, I don't know how well you can see it, but that little black thing down there, and A, B, right? So A is for collar A, B is for collar B. If you decide, if you have two animals, you need two of these, you can do it. And then you can also program them to be where, animal A can do this while animal B can't, or animal B can do this while animal A can't. Or you can make it so that both of them are restricted. So if you had a situation where your garbage is in one area, you don't want either of them in the room, you could do that too. But anyway, this is how this part works. So this little thing right here, this basically designates 2 feet from this device, okay? If your pet gets within 2 feet of this device, what will happen is this, and I haven't turned it on yet, that's why it's not making noise. This collar right here will start beeping, and then if they don't move away, it will do a quick shock to them, right? And I've done the shock on myself. I advise you to do the shock on yourself so you understand the level of shock that it is. It's not like super painful or anything, but it definitely will correct them and kind of startle them. But it does definitely correct the behavior. So if you want to adjust this, super simple. That's 2 feet, and then you can go up. That's 4 feet, 6 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet. So if this bar on the left is all the way full, that means it's 12 feet from this device, right? We'll move it down. We had it just at 2 feet. We had it at the lowest setting. So we had it at the lowest setting when we were using it, and we only had the one collar. So this is basically how that part works. So this is the actual collar that you would put on your animal, right? And these little prongs are what will administer, well, it'll beep by itself, but these are what will administer the shock if they're not listening. So there's 3 different settings on here. There's to open it up. So if you have to replace the batteries in here, you can open it up. If you have it right here, which is on now, that just basically means it's off. And then this little 2 dashes right here that you can see, that means that it's on. So I'll turn it on here in a second. And I should mention, to turn it on, all you have to do, just grab a screwdriver or whatever it may be, and just turn this little dial. It's not, you can't really do it with your hands. I'm trying to do it right now. Not easy to do with your hands. You have to do it with a screwdriver, which is good just for safety and everything, because this could shock someone otherwise. Okay, so as you can see here, I have actually turned this on. See that little, those little 2 dashes are lined up with that. So right now, this does nothing, right? I can touch it, it's fine, no big deal, it doesn't do anything. Now, when we get closer, so here's the device over here. When we get closer, okay, you hear that beeping now? So what happens is it will beep for a little bit, and then it will start to send the shock. And the closer you get to this, the harder the shock is, right? So if they're this far away, they'll just hear a beep for a second, and then they can usually back away. If they're this far away, and then it may, after some time, it's going to send a shock to them to basically say, like, hey, get away from here, right? It'll stop them. If they keep trudging forward, it will shock them a little bit more intensely. So just keep that in mind when they're actually using it. Now, they do have this little device here, which you can actually take and you can put it on to the prongs. So we got to measure it up here. Put it onto the prongs like this and make sure that it's actually working, right? That's what you could do. Or what I advise is to actually use it on yourself, maybe far away, just so that you understand exactly what your animal is feeling when this is happening. I think that's just a fair way of dealing with this. Now, taking it apart just a little bit, so you can see here, this is the inside. Not really a big deal. What you do need to know, though, is that it takes these batteries right here, which are 2 3-volt lithium batteries, which you can buy basically, anywhere that you get batteries. So that's what goes into there. And then here, you also have 3 AA batteries. And this mode switch right here, this is how you control the A, B, all that collar stuff that I talked about before if you have multiple animals. So guys, a couple things to know about this before you buy it, right? So it's a pretty cool device. It really does work. It will correct the animal, but I think there's a few things. So first off, like I said, I think that you should test the shock on yourself so you understand what the animal's going through. It's really not that bad, you guys, but you do feel it. So I think you should understand that. Second thing is that this little cover here, so my mom had this issue. She said sometimes these covers, they end up breaking. They're just kind of cheaply made. They will, hold on there, as long as you're not taking the batteries in and out, but they're not the most high quality covers. So just for the battery, just for this one. So that's one thing, to consider. In addition to this, and this is more of a safety stuff. So you never ever want to put this onto a metal wall of any sort because it has static electricity, and basically it can put throughout the metal wall. It can make the whole wall a thing that the dog can't get close to, or I should say the animal can't get close to. So it can actually cause unwanted effects. So if you have this on a conductor, anything that's metal, it'll basically make that entire metal thing something that your animal can't get close to. So you may think, oh, it's just a 2-foot radius. Well, it could be a lot bigger if you're not doing it properly, right? So just be aware of that. And then the second thing, I think this is important if you're using it on dogs, don't use this on an aggressive dog. I just don't think that that's advised because you could shock them, get them angry, and then who knows what happens from there. And then lastly, I should mention, they even say it in the manual. So this shouldn't be used for more than 12 hours at a time. So what we did with our dog is basically we would put it on and then we'd watch her for like 5-6 hours. Honestly, I think it took her 2 shocks, if I remember right. We watch her for 5 or 6 hours and then we would take it off. We'd also look at her neck and make sure everything's okay and she's not like, dealing with any skin issues or anything like that. But she didn't. She's a little pug. She ended up doing really, really well with this thing, and it really worked for us. So if you're considering getting it, we definitely recommend it and hope that you enjoy it as much as we have.